Okay, hi, Noelle Rose Anderson, Kale. You know what? I'm cutting to the chase today. Look at this. Just whatever. Cutting to the chase today. Since all I have is the truth to fight with, I'm fighting with the truth. So, as you know, we got wind of it that there's possibly an alternate copy that the public gets of my book, and when we order it online through CreateSpace, Amazon, who the hell knows what it is anymore, we were told that it went out of business, and now it's back up. I have a feeling they were trying to, delete the truth or something. Something funny happened. Anyway, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, all you guys, CreateSpace, get on our boat. I'm not going to say this again. I hope you have jumped on our boat. I'm a little peeved at our government. More than you, actually. Because it seems like they knew and they didn't do anything. They didn't signal us and say, hey guys, look at your book. No, we get all these lame-ass hint drops way later, and I'm like, this is not acceptable, okay? That is very demeaning to us. We need documentation, number one. So, I'm not too happy with people. With most people right now. You know what? I'm going to say this officially. I'm just saying, if I was a leader and ruled a country or anything, even with business and everything like that, I wouldn't have allowed all of this. Unfortunately, there's going to be lives lost in something this heady, and it's not going to be ours. We seem to be a big key to this. But here's the thing. In a tactical war of any kind, whether it's behind the scenes, out front in public, you have to decide where the loss is going to be. There's less loss the sooner you deal with things than stringing it along. So I'm not trying to be bitchy or super hypercritical here. It's just that I see a lot of mistakes that were made, and I'm not playing Monday morning quarterback. Is that the right term? Because I was saying these things before they were even happening. You can look at everything that we sent in to the government saying, please don't do this, and this is why. Please don't do this, and this is why. And I'm like, ugh. Okay, so somebody decided for us that we were super strong enough to tolerate this bullshit being on the run for a year. And you know what? I had to pay, and my son, but mostly me, had to pay an ultimate price. And I'm not going to tell you what that price is. Wait for it. Wait for that punchline. Because it's not very funny. Ultimately, I know that the bad guys, the Q bullshit, whatever the hell that is, and I know that they are ultimately responsible, but there's something in the law about allowing bad guys to do things to innocent people. We were innocent people. But anyway, you know what? I'm just fed up and done. And I don't know why I had to pay an ultimate price, because you all wanted to sneak around. There isn't enough money on this planet that's going to make me say, oh, okay. Because I don't know what's going to happen when this is all over. What wounding do I have to deal with? Knowing that some good guys just allowed it to happen because they wanted to give the bad guys a rope to hang themselves with. And no one asked us if we were okay with this. I said no. And I said it before it even happened. I'm so mad. More than mad, but just wait for the punchline. Yeah, you guys are gonna love this. I just don't know why I had to pay an ultimate price, and I don't want to go into it and give it away right now, but it's bullshit and we don't approve. I said don't play the Q game. I don't approve. I just don't approve with a lot that's going on. Some people who are in the know might think, oh, what a brilliant idea. Let's do this. And I'm thinking, no, I don't even know your whole damn fucking idea. Don't do it. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't even know where it is right now. But you know what? I'm ready to spill the beans so you guys can't do it, okay? I'm really pissed off. And all the while, if there's a second version of this book or this other book or any of my books and it makes me look bad, I have people who actually, I know who read this book and can testify that it didn't have anything bad in it. There's some intense things in there, but I didn't do anything wrong. I've never done anything wrong in this whole thing. And if somebody made it look like that, and if somebody has been eavesdropping on us and doing some deep fakes and editing words and using AI to make it sound like I said something when I really didn't, you know what? And the government's just like, oh, just let them do it so we get more evidence. Oh, just let them do it so we get more evidence. No, how about stopping it before it gets worse? How am I going to put my life back together if, God forbid, if what we are thinking and what we got through the grapevine, these books say something very hideous? How do I fix that? Bastards. You know, I am pissed, and I have every right to be, because you know what? I reached out for help, and this is what I get. We reached out for help, and this is what we get, okay? This... I hate this fucking goddamn SUV, okay? I really do. It was nice when we first got it. Very expensive. Yeah, we financed that. We funded this. We were able to do that then. We didn't default on a car loan. We didn't default on our house. Nothing. And we had great credit. And then why can't we purchase something? They say we should be able to, then why can't we? Who's lying about that too? Oh wait, I forgot, I have a fake daughter who you guys knew about and you didn't do shit about that either. And I'm like, oh, but you let us find little hint drops in our feeds, so what? So we can just be like, oh shit, now we have a bigger mess to fix after we come to you for help? Something's wrong with your brains and your hearts. And you know what? I hope that Jesus Christ, the real Jesus Christ, and if that's even real, I don't even know anymore, has something to do and say for you guys who are allowing this shit. Now on to chapter 10. Was that good?
Yeah. Wait, did you do chapter 10 yet?
No.
No, okay.
I'm about to. Breathe. Roses do cry when their petals are torn. Yeah, and then they kick your ass with their thorns when they find out what the hell's going on. That's part 2 that I didn't put in here. That's mine. There's always a pause before the dance begins. Learn to breathe and take time for yourself. Once the dance begins, you belong to the audience. I have every right to be mad at everybody who's doing this bullshit to us. You know, you guys have been living with the knowledge of Q apparently since the Renaissance, which I made a mistake. 1600s was towards the end. You know, I do have a right to be really pissed off. Yeah, how would you like it if your government knew what was happening to your family even before I was born? And just kind of like, oh yeah, well maybe at some point we'll get around to dealing with this. Y'all ruined my father's life. He had such a really flippin' hard life. Probably an equivalent to what we're going through. I had an impossible life. It's a miracle that I was able to do anything. I had to use a different last name because I knew something was wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it. So why is it that you guys are letting these bastards do this to us? Oh, so you get your little evidence? We have enough. Cut it out. I don't agree at all. And then if there's some bullshit trial or some shit going on behind the scenes trying to prove whether I'm innocent or not, and I'm not a part of it, and I don't know about it, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed off. You think I'm mad now? I have every right to swear, I have every right to sue, I have every right to destroy whoever allowed this to happen, and I have every right to destroy who's trying to destroy us. Good God. Never, if I were a ruler or a leader of a country or a small group of people, I'd never let this happen. We had bad people infiltrating our company, and we did everything we could immediately once we found out. How do we handle this? What do we do? Yeah. You don't let it go on. Why? Because it destroys completely. We had to rebuild our company at least twice now because of bullshit like that. Yeah, I think we learned. Never. I love people ferociously, you understand? I will defend people, obviously. Even, oh man, this is not even the epitome of my anger. I am so mad. I want to know the truth, and I don't like this behind the scenes bullshit. Anyway, look how cute my little body looks there. That's me. It wasn't that long ago, and I'll get it back very easily. I just need people to leave me the frig alone. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves if you're partaking in any of this bullshit, not helping us. I can't say, oh, President Trump, I'm blaming you. Oh, President Biden, I'm blaming you. I don't know who. Somebody, somewhere, something is very wrong. Okay? And just like David Bowie's song on his Black Star album, he says that he knows that something's very wrong. No kidding. That poor man. Oh my God. How many times did he reach out for help? I don't know him personally. I think I might have met him once. I saw his shows. Amazing. And he's here trying to inform and warn. And it comes down to what? To this? I don't know. I would lead with much more strength. I don't know who it is to say. It's your doing. It's your fault. You should have done something. Who? Everybody? I don't know who. God. I would now know and face a world without my mom. Oh my God. This thought was ominous with no boundaries or walls. My entire world was pulled from me and I felt alone. I didn't want to feel this way. I needed relief. I wanted her back. I wanted my 3 to 6 months back. My husband suggested I call on some of my close friends to come support me. He had to go to work in a few hours, and as for my son, while I appreciated his care, he needed to be comforted too. He just lost his grandmother. I just wanted to pick up the phone and call her and prove to myself she's still there. I swam in a cesspool of confusion. Where is my God in all this mess? How do I get through? How do I get through her birthday? Oh, yeah. There you go. This is page 205. Sorry, but not at the same time. You know, be in my shoes. Yeah, she's strong enough. Yeah, I'm strong enough, but this has gone way beyond being strong or not. This is just hoping that I don't remember what happened the day before, but unfortunately I do remember. There's no escape. There's no anesthesia for this. No little, oh, let me play a video game like my husband does. That's his escapism. While it's kind of harmless, it also harms us because he gets caught up in it and then his brain's not thinking on, evasion of people trying to hurt us. Yeah. So good luck with that. And no, we were never able to have any little small classes for children. We kept putting them up online. Please come, please do this. And they were always sabotaged. We did one with San Pedro City Ballet, all of it recorded, all doors, windows open, supervision, everything, because I don't trust people. Not because they didn't trust me, it's because I don't trust people. Let's flip that around. That is the truth. So, we're not being watched because we did anything wrong with kids. We haven't even had a fucking chance to do it. Which pisses me off. We want to help. We're trying to help. And every time we tried to do something, nothing good happened. Nothing at all. Just saying. Every single one of the classes that I taught were recorded on a security camera, because I used to teach dance to the little kids. Windows, doors, everything open, everyone watching, everyone can see everything done, so that ain't gonna work either. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no reason for us to be watched. And we asked the cops directly, are you watching us or are you escorting us? Which is it and why? There's nothing. Nothing. This is Q, the bad guys trying to make something. It's called straw man. And they're not doing a very good job at it because we're finding everything out. And, hey, we're combating everything. But we shouldn't have been put in this position in the first place. We actually do something to fight against the bad guys and help. And I gotta watch my mother die. She was executed, wasn't she? By Q, right? Is that the fucking deal? I don't believe cancer is what it is. It's a toxicity from this dust, right? And then they can target people because, construction? Has this been going on for a long time? There's somebody from construction that is in Q? Isn't that right? or somebody close. Hold on a second. Can you get me some juice? Watermelon juice, please.
Alright.
Thanks. How do I get through her birthday? How do I get through the holidays? How do I get through my birthday? I just want a little more time with her, just those few months we were told she had. Through my tears, I could barely see anything. Where's God's hand to reach down and comfort me? You know, I don't know. I don't know if God's real anymore. I hope so. Not the fake pastor, lowercase g hyphen d God. I'm talking about the real creator, whatever. Within 30 minutes, two of my dearest friends rushed over and held me. I think they're my friends. Hope so. The tears poured out and I let them love me through my nightmare in the beautiful and deep way that they knew how. They brought over my favorite wine. We drank a lot. I showed them my butterflies and they shared how their life cycles coincided with my mom's. These two women are spiritual sisters that love deeply, and I deeply love them. I love everybody. I really do, unless they give me a reason not to. And a lot of people lately have been giving me a reason not to. You don't have to love evil people. Yeah. They knew what I was going through. I was also slowly losing my mind, and they sensed that. They also knew that I was strong and would get through this one breath at a time. They stayed with me for hours. Oh, and by the way, a lot of people kind of like lose it when their parents die. That's like not unusual. So don't try to paint me like that's some weird freakish thing. Seemed like I recovered pretty well. They stayed with me for hours. The rest of this nurturing love circle of women held a special feast for me a few days later to help me through this difficult time. There were 11 of us. One we see as an incredible woman, leader with class, elegance, some sass, and incredible beauty inside and out. She has guided and helped many of us ladies through our travesties. She has a special gift to help people find the shine and bring it out of each person. You know, I hope this is legitimate. This is where my heart is. See? And if any of these people aren't on the same level of legitimacy that I am on, then I was played for a big fool. And I should not be persecuted and strawmanned. I should be helped and loved. Yeah. We sat in a circle after a meal and we all shared heartfelt sentiments and meditations. I thought about my mom and if she was all right. I needed to know. I missed her, and every time I thought about my reality, panic struck me. My skin went pale and my head grew dizzy. An earthly and motherly woman led a gentle meditation in which we focused on love. So I don't use their names because, you know, we have a solemn oath between us to not do that. And yet I want to give them credit for being beautiful women and helping me, and it was part of my story, so I was as vague as possible and yet honoring to them. Maybe someday when all this is straightened out, I will go back and I will gladly ask them and say, may I please use your names? If not, I will leave it like this, because I give credit where credit is due to the best of my ability. I am a very integral, ethical person. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm sure I've messed up here and there, but it's been little things, I'm pretty sure. Breathe, breathe, breathe. There were those words again. They had another meaning this time and were now attached to my mom's passing. Upon my exhale, I saw my mom in a white gown. She was moving with power on top of a mahogany mountain with purple hues accenting the crest of the ominous peak. Her hair was long, deep, chestnut brown, almost black. She had very dark hair. I think she dyed it darker, but I don't know. I was a kid, and then when I got older, I wasn't that nosy, you know what I mean? Her hair was long, Okay, she moved her arms across a horizontal plane with strength and precision. She was dancing. I did a video about this, and my ballet teacher did an interpretation of this in a dance, and it just comforted me. I think it was her way of saying, I getcha. I'm here for you, girl. Bee fly, It might be up to you to help me. That's all I know. She had 13 left feet. So I was not being mean to my mom. Dance is not her thing. I believe she secretly longed to be able to dance, and she was. Could it be she was in heaven dancing? Did she open her heart to God and love? Simultaneously, this motherly woman said exactly what I was seeing. She spoke my vision to the rest of the group precisely. That was all I needed. That was my confirmation that my mom was safe and free. She was in a good place filled with love and hope, and she was dancing. Whatever that means, I don't know. A lot can happen in 6 weeks. 6 weeks is not a lot of time, but a lot can happen in that time. I thought saying goodbye and laying to rest my Nana was the hardest thing ever. I remember this. 206 and 207. Hardest thing for me to do. I was wrong. Writing my mom's obituary was the hardest thing for me to do. I could still point to the calendar and touch the date 6 weeks ago. You know, you can touch a calendar and just flip it like you flip a page. This could be the year 2019 and this is 2020, and you just like that quickly you can look and see, wow, a whole 2 years there. But every day and every minute counts, and I can attest to having a very long year since this COVID thing, right? And you know, every once in a while we've been able to sleep on somebody's couch for a little while, or rent a hotel room until they started poisoning us in the hotel rooms. I think our credit cards were dinged. Poison these people, ding. Okay, you get the special room. I don't know. Don't want to falsely accuse, but it seemed that way. It was real, it was tangible. It later turned into something unimaginable. It's still so surreal and unreal, just as there's only 1 degree difference between very hot and boiling. That 1 degree makes a difference. As a friend has shared with me recently, 1 day made a difference. There's also only 1 breath between life and death. How precious and fragile is everyone's hearts. Very. 6 weeks ago, I was also a different person with different ideas for my life. The integrity is still there. However, I fortified my foundation even stronger in God. I've had to make strong lines with relationships. Life is too short to mess around. An eye-opener and wake-up call. This too served its purpose for more fruit in my life. Tomorrow, I will say my final goodbye to my mom and her memorial service. Not looking forward to it, but I have to move forward, not moving on, just forward. It was interesting to see how people treated me and reacted to my mom's passing. For the most part, I received love and support. Some cowered, some looked at me strangely, as if death had never touched anyone around. And some didn't know what to say, but said, I'm sorry. The ones that turned and ran away from me wounded me almost more than my loss. I was fortunate that most were encouraging and loving. It's beautiful to see people shine and give love. Their genuine selves broke through. Strange how death can be a strong catalyst for many things. In 6 weeks, I had a relationship mend. A few fell out, 1 further strained, a few were tested, and quite a few made stronger. There's truth in death and life, and death depending on how one looks at it. Death can be a reflection of life and how we operate in it. The vision I had of my mom dancing on a mountain was no accident. Life does transcend into supernatural and spiritual world. There's a lot we don't understand. On October 13th, I had a series of dreams that left a residue of regretful confusion. I would wake up on the couch long enough to question my truth. Was my mother gone? If she was my mother truly all right? Was she out of pain? Was she safe? Was it all a dream within a dream that I would wake up from at any moment? Maybe I fell asleep on the phone with her. The alarm for my cell phone gave no room for fantasy as it woke me from my tormented dreams. It played Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. I set it to that, you know. Mom would sing this to me when I was little. She wasn't a singer, but it was Mom's voice. But I wouldn't give to hear her sing these words to me now. It's all right. You know, it's in the song. It's all right. So, it was not a dream. This was the horror I had to learn to face. My world without my mother. A wine bottle was perched on our bamboo. Coffee table, 208. 209. This is something I always wanted to do, to read my book, but I wanted to do it with a heart that was like, oh, what a nice celebration. I have to do this because I feel like I'm having to protect myself, and because our government does not have the decency to actually say, hun, we found this out, write a letter and tell me how to handle it. No, I had to be creative and figure out what to do. Not cool, okay? I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm mad. Coffee table, bamboo coffee table. I take a swift sip and fall dizzily back to sleep. I didn't want to feel this way. I wanted relief from my pain, and this was a shortcut I had to take to keep my sanity. And no, I'm not an alcoholic. I can't stand this stuff now. Something bad is being put into all alcohol, and it's like, ugh, very nasty. Like Barfarama nasty. It's not sweet wine anymore. That gives you a little bit of a buzz. It's stuff that I just can't tolerate it. It's like, you know what? I don't like feeling like that. I don't like barfing my guts out after having like half a glass of wine. What is it in this stuff now? So, yeah. That was a real quick not wanting to drink alcohol anymore fix. That was a brief interruption with the door slamming. Let's continue. My commitments were intense and planned months ago. I had 2 performances, 1 film shoot approaching, and 1 film shoot approaching. Contracts were solid. I couldn't break out of them. Some of them were verbal contracts, but, you know, it's still a contract. I couldn't break out of them. I had no other choice. I had to teach my dance classes, perform, and shoot a film. Many people were counting on me. I didn't miss a single commitment, and I performed better than I and others expected under the conditions. I managed to continue performing both shows for an invitational with 102-degree fever. My partner helped me through it, and to date was the best performance of that duet we ever did. The only thing I missed was teaching a master class for this invitational, and that was due to this flu that had me bedridden. My doctors and husband said if you get out of that bed, you'll be in the hospital and get everyone sick. It was one of the worst flus that was very contagious. I had to be responsible and be professional. It was advised that I cancel teaching. I hate doing that. The director is very understanding, and we set a future to do promise date for me to make it up to her. Yeah, and I would still do it. I would do it for free at this point. You know, just say, hey, I was never in this for money. I was never in this I just love dance. I just love people. I love kids. I love adults. When they're not hurting me. Let's put it that way. Well, no kidding. I kept all my upcoming commitments except that one due to severe illness without misstep to the outside world. However, inside I was drowning in my pain and danced despite it. As the company continued to grow faster than we all imagined, we found some enemies along the way, which is weird. When you get to a certain level in your career in any business, you graduate from being the up-and-coming darling whom they build up and are then seen as competition, a threat, and are torn down, or at least they tried to. However, they will do whatever to prove to others this isn't happening to save face. Not to give the wrong idea, because most were incredibly supportive and secure in their talents and achievements and never tried to pull us down and use dirty tactics against us. Dirty tactics isn't healthy competition, it's cowardice, and it's evil. I also deeply love the dance community, and that was seen in the fruit of my labor, as I've always supported all artists, assisted at other shows, gave stipends, treated them well, etc. Only a very small handful reminded my board and I of the films Heathers and Mean Girls, wrung their hands waiting for me to falter. We were warned about this group and to steer clear. We did, however, they went after us. It was a ridiculous notion to see some in their youth, which is excusable to a point due to inexperience, you know, kind of young and dumb. We all did that. And some their mature adult years, which is inexcusable due to their experience, leading by this poor example of insecurity and passive aggressiveness. My board found out that we were kept out of performances. The flu that I had turned into a rumored exaggeration as to why I missed one commitment. They gossiped about me not being human because I was so nice and happy. Some said it to my face too. And I'm like, I thought it was supposed to be happy and nice. So you want me to be mean to you? And grumpy? Why would I want to do that? I don't want to do that. It is what people of faith are supposed to be like, and then if I wasn't nice one time, I was a... Oh, bitch. One swear word. One swear word in the whole book. That was page 210 to 11. I couldn't win because they didn't want me to win. They took my copyrighted words and videos off social media and claimed them as their own. One was so obsessed with me, they spoke my words in speeches and reposted them as their own words, almost like a plagiarism secret code to show their allegiance to the small petty group. Now we know a little bit more, but, you know, that's how we summed it up then. It seems strange why anyone would want to copy someone else because it pegs them as unoriginal. Being inspired by someone or something is completely different. And there is a thin fine line with that too, but once someone said my own words back to me and a board member overheard it and immediately called them out in public, he has solved the problem for it never happened again. My board didn't mess around and is quick to deal with things. That's how we like to do things. We don't like allow people to keep building up. Oh, now we've got this big chunk. How about being loving to them even though they're behaving badly, and stopping them so it doesn't build up to where it can almost be considered a criminal. That's better to do that. That's what I think. That's how I roll. I don't like this other stuff. Oh, let's build it. You know, because I am now at the hand of somebody allowing that. And I'm having to figure out what's wrong with my books. Is it just a BS rumor? Is it true? Who did this? Who has these bad copies of my books? And I gotta deal with it? No, this is something our government is supposed to deal with. And we wrote to them about other things, but hey, they had the heads up. Not happy with you people. The reason for this is one dancer came into my company for 6 months and drove a wedge between me and one of my dearest friends that I knew for years and tried blaming it on me. They also shared our marketing ideas with another director. Now we had confidentiality clauses called in jest our no diva, no spies contract. We also never share anything unless needed. This type of incident never happened again, but it kind of did because we were keeping everything in private, and then we realized, oh, there's some kind of weird surveillance, either our phones, computers, or something else going on. And we're like, how is this stuff getting out now? We have these contracts, we don't say anything to the dancers anymore on a need-to-know basis, and nobody was leaking it, because sometimes it was just me and my son talking. Interesting. This type of incident, okay, but it did. Don't forget, this was published and done in like around 2016, so a lot of days have happened since then. I don't think I have updated this, so I'm pretty sure I haven't. Sometimes you make people, oh, the word "to" is left out. You have to make people, so there's about 20 little typos in here, but that's it. And one curse word. Bitch. Okay. Make people respect you and your boundaries. Ridiculous behavior. Not ours, but what we were seeing. Other annoyances we had to deal with ranged from me being told to stop dancing and accused of being prideful because I had strong confidence in my abilities. They'd stalk my social sites, cyber stalking, and wait to see who I befriended or who befriended me and solicited them. There's an unspoken social networking rule to not do that, and plus Facebook warns against doing those. Cute. And they're minions. They used me for my connections and contacts. They'd send moles to my classes to watch me, collect our audience's email information, and share amongst themselves. My husband saw one of these mean girls pull my arm. When was that? In dimly lit space and drag me over to the light. Oh, that I remember that. So I could help them. I don't mind helping, but doing that to a legally blind person is asking for a lawsuit. Plus, how dehumanizing is that? Very. No one should treat anyone this way. The most childish of all was if they were connected to another producer whom we just met, they would say horrible things about us and tear us down before we ever established the relationship. And purpose of private one. We since figured out how to prevent this hideous act from happening again. Some would go after my close relationships and try to get them to not support us, if that was the case. And we were betrayed by the relationship, and they took the bribe bait. Then our enemies did a good deed for us inadvertently and saved us the grief by weeding them out. Good riddance. There is no loyalty if the base gave way. We always found out who it was. The worst was a stalker, which will be further mentioned in another book, and also someone who tore into me so deeply online. It came from the least expected place. I had posted, "Do you know what has survived all this time through the hardships?" Someone said, "My love," which is what I was trying to get at. I wanted to make a point in that I never gave up loving after being treated like crap. I was about to boast in Hope's ability to keep me on the path. This is page 212 and 213. Another said, "Your vanity." I laughed it off at first. Then I felt dirty inside, like I was just attacked because I was. A comment was made about the photos that I shared publicly being an act of vanity. I posted a lot of professional photos on my social media of me dancing, but few selfies, and I immediately felt that false guilt, again, related to the abuse I suffered. I didn't post my photos because I thought I was gorgeous. I don't think I am. I am awkward looking. That's what I think. Many people told me that they received encouragement by looking at them. They liked it, so I shared them. Pretty plain and simple. Part of my job as a dancer in the public eye is to be more public with my artistry. It's normal. So if I'm the product, I have to present me, and so is my board, and so do the people who are supporting me. Actors do it. And people liked how I combined encouragement and put it with, a cool dance picture. Good Lord, dozens of times I had been on camera without makeup. Like now. Sorry, I can't go like this because the bad guys think I'm saying to shoot me. Look, no makeup at all. Hair just how I slept in it. Without makeup, hair in shambles, in my PJs, or in garish makeup on stage performing. You saw the swan makeup, right? Go back and show. Totally not a vanity issue. See? His eye. I like to have fun. I don't know. I felt like my loving people... this remark hurt because I seriously risked so much to love many. I felt like my loving people was the best part of me, and one thing that I didn't screw up. I grew a thick skin and told them to shut up, and some to their faces. They left me alone, and I could not care less anymore. I do what I do. Yeah, and this guy was saying that my husband, like, insulting his, manhood, his, private parts. And I'm like, oh my God. And then somebody else is blaming me because they fell in love with me, this guy. And I'm like, who are you? I barely knew who they were. I was very nice to them, and occasionally we chatted online. And I was very, what is this? What drama's going on? Roll up your window. I wasn't recording, but somebody's got a recording of it because they use this to spy on us. Okay. So anyway, we have to keep relocating our vehicle and where we're parking because people are actually dispensing stuff, and it hurts our bodies. And our government will get around to helping us sometime. When will that be? I'm really mad at you guys, and I should be. So anyway, this guy was being very mean, and I was being very nice and trying to blame me for being so nice. You're so nice to me, and it made me fall in love with you. And I told my husband about it too, and I showed him the email. He blew it off. I got pissed. I was being very gracious, and I replied very Christian-like, I am not responsible for your feelings. And it's like, as a Christian man, if you're having something going on in your heart and your head, go and sin no more. I can't help you with that. That is your thing. Don't try to put it on me. So then if I'm mean to somebody, right, then I lose that way too. So I don't do this lose-lose situation. And I made it public, and this person was very embarrassed. And well, they should be. I never even really approached this person in public. We danced in something together, not even as partners, but just near each other. And I'm like, what's going on? So, you know, I was like, sorry if you fall in love with me because you think I'm a cool person. Most people do, but behave yourselves, okay? Like, we have a good friend, several that are men. We all hug and kiss them, and they all, my husband, son, me, we all hug and kiss them. You know, like, right, Alan, Nick, all these people. It doesn't mean anything. We love people. That's how we greet, and that's what we do. It doesn't mean anything more than that. It means a deep friendship love, and that's as far as it goes. So, you know, people are pretty wicked. Get your head out of the gutter. Good Lord, dozens of times I had been on camera. Let me repeat this. Makeup, no makeup, garish makeup on stage, etc. Okay. I felt like my loving people was the best part of me, and one thing I didn't screw up. I grew a thick skin and told them to shut up, and some to their faces. They left me alone and I could not care less anymore. I do what I do. Plus, anytime I'd share my dancers' photos, they'd have a significant other not appreciate it, or they would leave the company by the time we did get a new photo. Then there's no point promoting someone who's no longer with us, or sometimes we just didn't have their permission. So a lot of times, you know, that's why we didn't promote a lot of the other dancers. As you can see, we promote them and then they leave, and I'm like, then you got all this free promotion and everything, and we got nothing out of it except for what was for the time being. That's why I don't like to keep promoting. It takes a lot of effort and money, and I like to do that, and I like our dancers to stay longer with us. And then we have a tier. I made a great tier because I didn't necessarily like how we were paying everybody at the time, but that's what the board at the time and family thought we should do. And it's changed. So I said, this is getting too complicated. This person gets this person gets... Let's just make it, okay, interns get the hourly wage, minimum wage. And at the time when we posted it publicly, it was like $12.50. It's gone up since then. But we really haven't been doing much with interns. We've been trying to, but things just haven't been working out. COVID, you know, minor things like that. And then we have students. Most people don't pay students. We do. We pay students $50 for the stipend performance. Everybody else is $100 and up based on how long they're with the company. And it's a lot simpler than it used to be. But at the beginning, nobody got paid. I didn't even get paid. We put in thousands of dollars into our company and got a few thousand back. So it's not a good business venture. I'm just saying, because a lot of these other companies, they get grants. Why don't we get grants? Oh, I'm sure Q will probably conjure up a BS lie, and we'll counter it very easily. See, it makes sense. We came forward with the truth. Now they want me dead. Pretty easy to figure out. We have it all time-stamped, and everybody who we contacted in our government, everything, all evidence, everything. And apparently these Q people accessed our mail and stopped some of it, thwarted some of it, opened and read some of it. And there's some people in government who are not ethical people, and we thought they were, and they seem to be part of the whole Q thing. And I'm like, great, and how are we supposed to get help? Yeah, I'm being facetious, and I don't care how it comes across. We are suffering right now, greatly. As time went on, I later found out this person actually wanted to be with me, and a few months later insulted my husband as an old bag that I was laying next to. And they did it online, publicly. Gave a heads up to lustful crush. I'm like, handle yourself better than that, would ya? And I handled it appropriately. Another incident was with one who fessed up guilt in an email to me. Oh, I was just talking about that. And had the nerve to try to pin the blame and fault on me for having feelings for me. I basically said I have done nothing to lead you on, barely know you, and seldom talk with you. You change your heart's ways or keep it to yourself. I'm married. That's pretty much what my email response was to them. Something I had to learn. The way rotten people treated me was not a reflection of me, it was a reflection of themselves. I say this to you now in case you are dealing with rotten mean girls. Don't cower, give it back to them. And in this case, it was men. And I'm like, oh my god. This is just some of the despicable things people would do. A plethora of events that are chronicled in my journals could fill volumes of books with their deeds. My response, I loved on them more and gave more, and when needed, they were called out. This is why I earned the name DanceWarrior. I fought this battle with a rose in my hand and love in my heart, and that made all the difference. Stand up, speak up, don't give up. That's also our trademark slogan for combating abuse of any kind. I learned that speaking I love you or I forgive you to your enemies is the heaviest weight they'll ever bear. If they've done wrong, their conscience will eat at them until they make it right, no matter what they do. One even yelled at me, you love me. Oh my god. No doubt their guilt weighed heavy on them, for they truly knew of the horrible deeds they had done. Be careful, beloveds. The stains of wrongdoing don't wash off so quickly. Oh, the weight of the poor soul who goes to bed with a guilty conscience. A clear conscience rests easy, and the guilty will feel guilty. Be encouraged, all that all is not lost. 2:14 and 2:15. There you go. Yeah, this is a long chapter. The irony was found in that these same people would call me up and say the worst things about each other to me. The only loyalties they served were selfishness and betrayal, and turned on one another in an instant. Eventually, I had to speak up and say that I actually liked that person they were maligning against and would stop chatting. Yeah, sometimes it would be like, but I like that person. And it's like, no, I don't know anything wrong about working with that person. And then I tried, and I took what they said, not with a grain of salt, but, you know, ingested a little bit, just put it on the back burner and say, okay, I need to be careful just in case they're right. And then I worked with that person, and there wasn't anything unusual. We're all people. We all have our idiosyncrasies. Just saying. And I felt like this person was trying to get me on record to say that I didn't like the people that I actually loved. And it was very interesting. We all had similar backgrounds. And then this one person was the same one, was trying to peg me for not letting them dance in a show. And I said, I didn't even know you were performing until like 2 or 3 weeks before the performance. And I'm like, what's going on? I didn't really know what was going on, and people were trying to scapegoat me, the people who were co-producing. It's like we were all co-producing. We had our own little responsible areas, and I couldn't even get into the computer to see who was performing. And I'm like, can you please just send it to me? What's going on? You could see all the communication, and we have the text that said, oh, don't worry, Noelle, I took care of it. I talked to them, and they understand. And I'm like, thank God we found it, right? You have that in like billions of copies. So, you know, at some point I need to, like, go back to that person, even though I don't much, you know, care for the way that they may do some things, but, you know, just on a human level, say, see, I didn't keep you out. You know, I said you get what you want, which is true, and, you know, you could take that any way you want, but, you know, other than that, I just like, oh my God, I don't want to be put in the middle of this. And I felt like people were putting me in the middle so they could set me up to say, see, she's not a nice person. I'm like, oh my God, I was just so confused, and I don't want to scapegoat the other people who are trying to scapegoat me either. That's not nice. Yeah, so we handled it very well, actually, because we just basically went down and said, wait, what is the truth here? And so we hopefully all chalked it up to just being a very bad effort that we all did. You know, it happens every once in a while. But, we'll see. The only loyalties they served. Eventually I had to speak up and say that I actually liked that person. Tearing down a person is an ugly thing to listen to, and I couldn't condone it. This is including when you have to hold someone to account for stealing, cheating, etc., that you must talk about and is not considered tearing one down. There's a difference between venting and destroying. There's a heart intent. One is trying to solve problems, benign heart intent. The other causes problems, malign heart intent. Just look at the outcomes of things and you'll see what the fruit bears. Always do I ask myself what I want, what I'm about to do done to me. If I answered no, then I have my answer of how to proceed. What mischief-minded people don't understand, that the very way they treated me or others of like would be done to them tenfold by another party. Karma is interesting. See, now, if you're trying to take down bad guys, like Q and their minions, that's a different thing. Good guys should not have to pay a price for that, because they're doing bad things. They've done bad things to me, and have hurt me, and it's documented how they've hurt me, so there's a big difference there, too. One time my board had actual due cause and proof of wrongdoing to our company. A couple years ago, one of these people said they wouldn't believe us until proof was provided, so the board provided proof. The board said that it is neither relevant or necessary for them to believe because the event still occurred. Then the blame was shifted on us. Why? Because, well, Nana would put it this way, the victim of circumstance's body laid strewn on the ground. Move on, said the murderer, you're making me look bad. So people who do bad things to the victim, they want the victim destroyed because that's the evidence, you get it? Meanwhile, I would volunteer for free at their events and shows. Yeah, I'm extremely patient and nice. I attended their shows and supported them. I wrote good reviews on social media about them, gave them free plugs on our company's social media. I donated funds and items like TVs and clothing when they had fundraisers and auctions. I encouraged them, produced them at our festivals. There was so much more we did for these people who stabbed us in the back. I say we because it was my board and I who dug in deep and helped. And my board a lot of times was just me and my family sometimes, because people would just betray us or drop out or just be weird. So, we had to keep going. We loved our dance community and all the other communities that much. It wasn't about us or me. I gave out in my need and went hungry often to bring about the productions we did. No grants, except for one time my mentors gave me a space grant. That is a dance warrior. That is a love warrior. That is a light in darkness. Dale Carnegie set the example of how to treat people in business, and we followed. The thing is, this only works with people who believe in ethics. I deeply love these people, and still do. However, when you give a gift to a fool, he won't know what to do with it. It was such an odd behavior from grown adults. Did they actually know what they were doing? Most of these people we didn't even know or had little contact with, so it wasn't because we did anything wrong or hurtful. At times we had to hold them to account and say, this is wrong, here's why, and here's the factual proof. That always works unless they're insane. 216, 217. And that could very well be the case, but, doesn't that make art a little bit more fun? I just don't like it when it gets really bad, I'm like, this is not okay. If you're around people like this, get away from them. Sorry, I was looking at the time code. They are toxic. Gaslighting is seldom an effective tool to use on anyone. People's false assumptions that nice equated to stupidity. People's false assumptions that nice or being nice equated to stupidity revealed hearts. Even though there's some punctuation missing. Even though I had tender heartstrings, I was not an instrument in which to be played. I am a human being, and when plucked it hurts. Roses do cry when their petals are torn, but it's only that soft revving before the heart engages into action. Some people, unfortunately, had to learn the hard way. I can be a sweetheart, a rose. However, if you don't want to be struck by thorns, don't pick at my petals. Touch a rose too many times, you figure out you're only supposed to look at it, not mess with it. It's a thorn thing. So I say this to my fellow Roses. Do not under any circumstances make yourself less, feel less, or be less to make anyone else feel better about themselves. Do you realize how strong one has to be to get to the end of a difficult journey? I implore you to gird up your strength and be that warrior you are. Enough became enough. Just like now. My board was fed up with it. They said the remedy was simple. Drop them. They weren't meant to go where we were heading. We all have our own special paths to pave, and theirs running along with mine had run out. My load got much lighter, and we found the right people to surround ourselves with. Real freedom comes when you don't give a damn what people think about you. There was much work left for us to do, and no time to wade in wasteful things. Onward and forward. The loss of my mom caused me to dwell and explore further inward, tunneling inside cavernous enclaves of despair. Where would this path lead me? I groaned heavily like a mother about to give birth. Except this was not going to bear fruit of a precious newborn. The life coming forth would take on an essence of fear and regret, and the birth would be the knowledge that things would be left undone, unsaid, unresolved. She never saw red ribbons. At least I don't think so. She would never know that the same hands that exploited her also shattered me. This too would be my reality. During this time I often wrote journal-like essays on my Facebook timeline to express my hurt and hopes that it would relieve the throbbing of my loss. I also secretly hoped the butterfly would somehow search my profile and read it too. I included a few of those entries that weren't written with grammar in mind, only emotion. This entry I wrote only days after my mother's death. October 13th to 12, Vision Quest. I need a soft place to fall and someone to carry me because I can't even dance too well right now. I know my feet will find the earth and its rhythm comforting again somehow. It will beckon me to move and create, but I must find you again. I must know that you're all right. I'm on a quest to know, to see, to hear something. I close my eyes to feel deep pangs of my discomforted breath. If only I truly could breathe, for now it is an illusion and force of will. Wait, what was that? Was that God's hand touching my shoulder, telling me that you're all right? No, it couldn't be. Or could it really be you? I sense your presence, and for a moment, a trickling of hope. I breathe deeper, and my vision is clearer. Good boy. Clearer. I see long, dark, luscious hair swirling in the waves of the wind. 2:18 to 19. This is a really long chapter. I see strong arms and movement. I see a mountain, purple, mahogany, and taupe. I see a white garment that adorns your strong body. It billows around your feet. And for a moment my mother was there. I see, but not with my eyes, for they are filled with doubt. It is my soul that sees you. I'm taken back to embryo, and I feel the warmth inside your womb. I'm aware of your sorrows. I'm aware of your pain. I'm aware that you escaped. For a moment I understood your fear. They should have been loving hands, but you were betrayed. I too would know those hands of betrayal. The same hands that harmed you harmed me. Frank, not Glenn. Glenn is my father. There is no other Noelle Kale. I am she. This is my pen name. This is normal to do. We do it for tax purposes. We do it for business purposes. We do it for our trying to keep me safe as possible purposes. But apparently it didn't work. You know, hey, we contacted our government. Hey, what are we supposed to do? Okay. A message from you or me. Strength, love, peace, hope. Then a confirmation from you for me. Do not give up. Be strong and let your feet guide you. Let light be your guide in darkness. Could the end of my quest be near? Could the love that comes from the heart that overflows with love have reached you? If I had one chance to tell you something, to speak to your heart once and for all. October 10th, 2012. And a time for every purpose under heaven. That's a line from the Bible, actually. Yes, you know Ecclesiastes, the Old Testament. One last time to lay my weary head upon her lap. One last kiss, one last hug, one last I love you, one last goodbye. This was the last photo I took with my mom. Usually I do 2 pages at a time, but look, I can hardly see it because it didn't print well, but that's me and my mom, Mama-san, 220. There's the text. Can you see it? October 24th, 2012. The eternal siren's call, trickling and drifting forward as if we were all masters of uncertainty, pining for our ultimatum at the crest of life's shores, where we may find our resolution to the reticulation of synaptic calls. But if we truly were to understand the cells of humanity as light's blinding swell of sacrifice, a love gift with no preceding debt, chosen by predestination, the sojourn in which to alight, take heed to the beckoning whisper easily overlooked, unconsciously subconscious do our goals fly adrift, time stands still for no one. December 22nd, 2012. My mother's name is Shirley, by the way. Okay. And then there were 10. Mom and I most often spent our birthdays together. I did some math, and you know how it is with me in numbers, so this may be a bit off. But it seems that there were only 12 birthdays we didn't spend together. That's not too many missed, but looking back now, they were opportunities loving each other that were missed. I'm counting on the good Lord to satiate this with his comfort. That makes my mom and my Nana gone, leaving us with 10 in the immediate family. I went through a lot of our photos together today, and I can see how your physical beauty was never tarnished. You were always and will always be a beautiful woman. I can also see the underlying sorrow, which is something apparently I've inherited from you according to people's input. I guess we do have a few woes to not feel completely joyous over. Then there's the other side, the hopeful innocent that resonates through the sorrow. This makes for an interesting dichotomy and causes people to draw near us to investigate. At least that's what it has always seemed to me for as long as I've been alive and aware of this. 21. Went through Mom's things for the past few weeks. I just took a bunch of stuff that was handed to me at her funeral and didn't go through all of it. I suspect my brothers also have more to delve into. So here it is, Mom's birthday, and I saved the last box purposely for this day to be opened. The last box. I had purposely saved it for today to go through. I had no idea what was in it. And when I was in Vegas, my Aunt Diane, her sister, had me take it. It was something I wasn't supposed to not take back home with me. I didn't want to open it there, so I saved it for today, Mom's birthday, as sort of a birthday present to honor her. So I found out why I was supposed to take this box. It had all my baby stuff, a lock of my curls, diaper pins, baby teeth, pacifier. That's the thing with the black rubber tip, bottom left. It was kind of icky, but you know, it meant a lot to Mom. And my baby rosary beads, very sweet, but there was another box inside that box. So I found out what was in this little box: a red ribbon, patron saints on charms, and safety pins. The key to my past, actually, or perhaps a further explanation to my past and what happened. You all know my red ribbon story. I'm speechless about this. I think I better think it out again. And then this. You know, that line is from I think I better think it out again, Oliver. 6/19/2002 to Noelle and Aaron. I'm the oldest. Those are my baby bros. My wonderful children, if you guys are reading this, I must be gone. I am expecting to die before any of you. First of all, no mother could be prouder of her kids than I. I love you all so much. The junk in these boxes are things I wanted to save. They represent parts of my life. Go through them, laugh, cry, then say goodbye to me and toss the junk you don't want to keep. I'm not trying to be weird, but I don't want you mourning me. I have had a great life so far, and the next few years should be an experience to remember. Well, enough bullshit. Love you, Mom. And This is the note that she wrote, and I got permission from my brothers to include it in the book. There we go. And I'll read the caption underneath of that now and go back. Note, I received permission from my brothers to share this with you, my reading public. Thank you, Aaron and Bruce. The three of us are giving this to you as a gift. We all love each other and our mother deeply. Please appreciate it as we three share it with you to perhaps help you understand or encourage you in your situation. We all theorized if she knew or not that she had cancer. But my aunt said she looked at the CT scan. Who knows? Did she choose to live on a boat because it was her dream and wanted to live life to the best that she could with the time she had left? Possible. But why not fight? Maybe she was done. I can relate to that feeling. Just kind of like, alright, that's enough. But then I can also relate to the fighter, and I like to fight, so I don't know. What the hell does this mean? I was so mad. She told us that she didn't know about the cancer until she was hospitalized, but I'm reflecting when I went into the cancer clinic in another country for my first treatment. She was drunk. Ugh. And she said something interesting things to me, and in light of this note, I'm wondering if she's had cancer all this time. I mean, truly, she could have been saying that she was expecting to die before all of us because she was older than all of us, and that would just make chronological sense. Instead of finding answers, I found more questions. I'm so confused right now. My brother said that she asked him about what he believed regarding life after death. He's a Christian, as am I, so you guys know where we stand. She knew where I stood, so it'd be pointless her asking me again. I missed this visit she had to my brother's for my niece's birthday celebration. We were supposed to go on a day cruise and have a ton of fun. However, this was training day for me at the new dance studio I was hired at, so I couldn't go. And ironically, I hardly taught there because somebody else took my classes. All the parents were like, "You're doing such a great job." And they watched. We had video cameras, windows all over the place, doors open, so I don't do anything in silence. Oh no, I don't trust anybody. Yeah, so I couldn't go. Gosh, I wish I could have changed things, but I didn't know she'd be gone 7 weeks later. I have a lot of questions now. It sounds like she kind of knew that she had cancer, but she swore that she didn't know. In 2002, the year she bought the boat with Jim and moved to Florida, she had given all of us some things, and she had donated a lot to charity. It seemed odd, but she said she bought a boat and had to downsize. Made sense to me. She signs off with the words bullshit. So there's 2 swear words, bitch and bullshit. It's PG-13. Okay, Mom, what were you thinking doing? But wait, my aunt saw the CT scan and it was clear last year, so she couldn't have known she had cancer unless the scan missed something? I don't know what to think. Still don't. January 3rd, 2012. And thus I dance. To break free from Earth's gravity and propel on wings of angels, oh glorious flight. To breathe freedom from a titan soul of travesty. Alright. January 3rd, 2012. I'm just going back and rereading it. I think I got cut off. And thus I dance, to break free from Earth's gravity and propel on the wings of angels, O glorious flight. To breathe freedom from a titan soul of travity's past by might. To understand, the spirit's cry to express the unchained desires of movement, a daily delight. Like a siren's enchanted beckoning to the ocean's depths, so my dance calls to me. It calls to me, but I am not lost to it, for my path is illuminated by the light, humbly in song. Unabashedly do I offer praise to my Lord and Savior with my entire being, and thus I dance. So here's pages 224, 225. And then I just wanted to finish that stanza, so I went on to page 226, on top of the line, top of the page, first line there. So I just read to you this part right here. January 5th, 2013. My heart hurts. I'm going to eat while I'm doing this. I'm starving. taking a bit of a break from this virtual world, just needing space between this place where I've chosen to lay my crap isn't a swear word, is it? And my real world, the place where I choose not let my crap inside invade the soft place to fall. I write my T's like her. I mean, we're talking dementia. Oh, December 22nd, 2013. I've concluded after a year of pondering, it doesn't matter whether she knew or not. It doesn't change our reality. We just got served an eviction notice. Great. January 23rd, 2013. Is it really a time bomb waiting to explode? Wow, that has so much irony right now. Because we had a whole bunch of hit drops in our feed saying that this was rigged with some kind of bomb in maybe our own home. Apartment. So what we did is just blasted what we thought was happening all over the place and said, if this is true, can somebody please help us? We didn't appreciate that. So apparently there is nothing now. Not that we were lying. You know, these people are communicating to us in a very childish way, which we don't appreciate either. Yeah, through hint drops. And I'm like, guys, you're scaring us more than the bad guys, so please just don't do this. We are so confused right now. So we basically had to just start ignoring everybody. Not to be mean or rude, it's just gotten uncontrollable. I mean, really, the bottom line is people need to rescue us and help us because this is ridiculous. I'm just like tired and done. In the midst of all the excitement and things to divert my attention from so much loss, I forgot I have something to be grateful for. My 7th year anniversary of surviving breast cancer around that time, but we don't have an official date. I mean, we didn't know the exact date, I don't think. Kind of, sort of, you know, when cancer stopped, but I've had to say hello to that old ugly friend on and off throughout my life, so just saying. I'm saddened that my mom isn't around to celebrate with me, but I'm very glad that I can have a celebration. With all the prep for my show and then getting the flu, I'd almost let my anniversary slip by me unnoticed and unappreciated. I do still struggle with the awaiting time bomb. When will it go off again? Because indeed it has. Will I succumb to it, or will my body triumph yet again? It's totally not up to me. I get that my days are numbered like everyone's, as it's appointed for us all when we will pass from this world to the next. You know, I'm really wondering about all this. It's like, who ordains for that date? I think it's Q. Why? Because of David Bowie's song. He's saying on the day of execution. He's not talking about himself executing people, obviously. So who is it he's talking about? And why say that? You know, one thing led to another. He's a smart man. Anyway, now that it is quite established that cancer runs in my family, especially with the women, I do know that I need to be very, very careful of my diet, lifestyle, stress, and all of that. So I've done it. I've handled everything, so I shouldn't have to worry about breast cancer anymore. I don't think. I do still feel insecure about my body and my right breast being smaller than my left, but it bothers me still that so much was taken from me. It bothers me still that people lied about me, about my health, and that was all remedied and fixed. This was remedied by showing all my records and shutting them up pretty quickly. But it still hurts at times because it, you know, it betrayed. It bothers me that I lost my mom so young, and then my grandmother only 4 years prior. So my mother is Shirley, and my grandmother is Marie. And I am the eldest child. There is no other child. My mom didn't have another kid. My dad didn't have another kid before me. I am she. It. That's it. That's all. It's very well documented. I'm so mad. And no, I didn't have another child, and it's very well documented even in this book who my child is. And no, there may be another Noelle and Kale posing as me that said that they wrote these books. Who knows? They could be going out there promoting all of these books, and the media and everything knows about it, and all this is being kept from me. Is that possible? I'd like to know, because if it is, I'm raising holy hell about it. And the government knows, and they're just kind of, oh, just let them sit in the SUV. They're strong enough. We're strong, but not enough. I don't know what anybody thought. Like, we're not like Wonder Woman, Superman bullshit or something like that. I'm really mad at our government. I'm waiting for this person to get in and out of their car here. Tell me when they're... Is the door shut? Is it?
Not yet.
Are they still there?
Door's open.
Outside or inside?
Halfway.
Huh?
Halfway.
Halfway?
Alright, now you're there.
Now they're... Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm trying my hardest to stay away from people. I lost my mom so young, and then my grandmother only 4 years prior. It bothers me that many turned away from me when I needed them most. It looked like somebody systematically was executing people in my family. I'm just gonna be honest. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me now. However, what came out of all of that is many showed their beauty, many helped me recover, many cared, many loved, many gave, and many supported me. I also found an inner strength that went beyond what I thought I could do. I deepened my relationship with God and my family and friends that were true. I still have a lot of unanswered questions, but I'm hoping that some answers will return to me soon. There's more to write, but not quite yet. January 28th, 2013. I saw her for a moment, 3 a.m. This time has passed by many times since October 7th, but it's 3 a.m. today, a random date and time, meaningless even to me, but perhaps not to others. It's the moments that preceded that pull me from my much-needed sleep. I can recall being this sick, laying on my mom's lap when I was about 8. She held me and stayed awake until I was asleep. It was the worst flu outbreak back east, and I caught the worst strain. It was the bee flu. Do you remember that? Now I'm starting to think what these flus and things are. I think it's just poisoning that make you have these symptoms. Yeah. Is she asleep? I remember drifting in and out of consciousness. Is she asleep? My grandmother asked. Yes, but I think we need to take her to the hospital if her fever doesn't break, Mom said. That's always the issue, the fever breaking, isn't it? My autoimmune issues were always a challenge for my health as it was. When I get sick, it puts me in further jeopardy. I have to be so careful. And I changed that. I'm lying on my sofa wishing I had my mom's lap to lay in. Then, whatever it is, she knew. 226. 227. She knew what to do. She always knew what to do. I went to call her today. I had to stop myself and say, she's not there, Noelle. I called my aunt, her sister. She suffers similar autoimmune issues. She has lupus, I think also fibromyalgia, etc. She'll know what to do to help me. She'll know what to do. She'll know what to do. She'll know what to do. I really need my mom. God heal my broken heart. January 29th, 2019. Am I at the end of this chapter? Oh yeah, almost done. It's not a surprise to me at all. I'd be surprised if she didn't get... Sorry, looking at the time code. Get it at some point. This is by no means a wish or a moment of clairvoyance, but I know all too well about cancer because my Nana had it, I had it. It was inevitable for my mom to have it eventually. She's young though. I was young too. It's peculiar that we all had it within 7 to 8 years of one another. We all lived in the same neighborhood in New Jersey and in Vegas. It makes me think a lot about our environment and our predisposition genetically to this disease. I can't help but think about how close she is to someone else's age, someone who, if she were to pass on, I'd be so distraught, never the same again, just as much as if I'd lost my mom. Not that I saw a mother figure in this other person, but kind of, sort of, more sisterly, older sister, Friend, can we just say friend? I can't explain it, but it is what it is. Truly, the things of this life are only put into proper perspective when life itself is threatened. I have such a strong reaction to this notion. You gotta you gotta relocate us. Somebody dispensed.
Alright, let's go. Relocate here.
I have such a strong reaction to this notion, and yet I dwell on echoes of words that run deep within me. Do you hear me? My next question, do you remember the good, or are things momentary and fleeting? If I had the chance to tell you something, I love you. Would these words, if said again to you, finally break through? Do you hear me? I truly wonder. I truly do. I'm overwhelmed. I need to go for a walk and pray. I need to pray for many things. See, I love very deeply, and I want to help people, and I was born that way. Just, nothing disgusting like Q would try to make it out to be, and I'm gonna get these people, and I'm gonna get them hard. January 30th, 2013, 10:20 a.m. My brother said, I can't even tell you how many times I have had a dream and she's still around, just to wake up and face reality. The toughest part is working with his daughter through this. She keeps talking about dying and how Ripley and Mima are in heaven. Ripley was my brother's dog, who I love too. I had a hard time when the dog died. Oh, maybe not here, but we'll see. I hope they didn't dispense.
Just
We could try.
hold for a few minutes.
January 30th, 2013, 12:05 p.m. Oh my gosh, yes. That stuff, it's hard for the little ones to process. It's hard enough for us big kids. Jared and I were just talking about Ripley. Tell Brie I saw Mima dancing in heaven. Oh my, she was even more beautiful and strong. Funny, she was never really a coordinated laugh out loud, but I knew she had desire to move and admired dancers. We will all be united someday. The absence does still hurt, though. I guess it's what keeps me not anchored to Earth, but our final destination. I'll be praying for you guys about this. No answers, no answers, more questions. During this time, to worsen the circumstances, we were facing eviction. This would actually be the second time we received notice. We had no way to pay our bills after working so hard to travel to Vegas to help my mom and pay for other things. Things seemed hopeless. I didn't see any signs of the bee fly. It was a grave situation. 228, 229. And the end of chapter, I believe, 10. Yep. So we're moving right along very quickly, and I'm almost done. 2 more chapters in this book, and then I have the end notes, and then I'm going to go on to the next book. And if anything got published and printed that was not what we read, somebody has something to say and explain to us, because I'm pissed off. Looks like a Q shenanigan to me, to try to make me look like I'm not worthy, or I'm not loving, or that I don't love people who have been abused as children and I don't help, or was that what they did? I would like to know. And while the bad guys who actually were the ones responsible for this, ultimately, I have some words for some of the good guys, like, why the hell didn't you actually tell us and document it properly for us, like a piece of paper, so we can file a lawsuit? I'm like, are you kidding me? All this bullshit hint drop things, hoping that we would get it. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And if it wasn't for the real Jesus Christ, who I think puts a seed in my heart saying, hun, it says, not in real words, obviously, but, and then putting 2 and 2 together. How dare you? Oh yeah, I've got things to say to you guys, too. I don't do this, parallel, alternate timeline bullshit thing that you guys have been doing with Q all this time, where everything in the media is kind of the show and fake, and the real stuff is going on behind the scenes. I don't roll that way, I don't play that way, and I resent some people, even the good guys, for putting that on us. I'm not going any further with this, okay? We need to deal with this legitimately. You don't win a Q game by keep on playing the Q games. I keep saying this, and you guys want to do all this rigmarole and behind-the-scenes stuff, and you think you're all so clever and all that. And I'm like, you're terrible people. We have more than enough evidence and everything to do this the right way. So why do it the wrong way? Why do it the complicated way? Why do it in a way that causes us more harm? It's not funny. And you guys are held liable for this. But the bad guys, even worse, even more so. You know? Unbelievable. Why would you do this to me, you know? And you know that we're being poisoned, and then, you know, it's like, oh my god, I can't feel this. Oh my god, I can't feel this now. Oh, this hurts. Oh, that, you know, what's this tingliness here? You know, and I'm like, you guys know, and yet you're like, they're strong enough, they can handle it. No, we can't. Our time's up. Your time's up. It's over. I mean, what are we supposed to do? We have nothing to fight with. And you guys made sure we didn't. Both sides, good and bad. So I'm like furious at everybody, and I should be. Very immature, unprofessional. I don't want to have anything to do with any of you now, you know? You did this to us. You allowed it to happen. You think you're so clever. Okay, this hint dropped that there's something else in her books and stuff like this, and let's hope that... I was always planning to read this online because I just hadn't a sense about it. It could happen long before we were getting things in our feed because we weren't doing Twitter for a long time. Don't like it. Don't like social media. I think it's evil. Yeah, very interesting. So I don't think there's a good enough excuse you guys are going to be able to say, well, this. Okay, then why didn't you fix this, whatever that was, so you could tell us or something? You know? No excuses here. A lot of people are in big trouble. And I'm so mad. So now what do we do? Just like hang out and wait till we die? And then you rescue us and you pretend that we died, but we really didn't? I'm not down for that. I'm not doing that. I'm keeping my existence and my persona and everything that I did intact the way it is, right here, right now, everything. I'm not playing any more Q games with you guys. Good or bad people. I just refuse. And I think it's pathetic what's happening. I don't do that. That's how good of a person I am. I can't even do that kind of stuff, you know, no matter what the outcome is. I just don't do it. I refuse to do it. So, I don't know. Yeah. I'm furious at everybody right now. But still there's that love. It comes from God through me. Not the fake pastor God who thinks he's God, who's fucking insane, who's doing all this shit. Okay? Is that the Q ringleader? And you guys knew, and you're like not doing anything about it? When were you going to get around to helping us, knowing my family's heritage and everything? Shame on all of you. I'm done.